Welcome to Somewhat More Than a Minute with Alan. This episode's on anti-Semitism. I'm Catholic, let me say that at the outset here. And in fact, we're heading to church in about 2 hours, and on Ash Wednesday I'll be a lector and so forth. But by way of disclaimer, I've been Catholic for 17 years. I was born into a secular Jewish family. Not religious, never bar mitzvahed. My parents did not keep the faith, so to speak. And here I am. I was agnostic for most of my life until I converted. But I've been thinking about the rise in anti-Semitism, and I've been thinking about the consistent anti-Semitism over centuries. And I'm going to tell you what I think. The reason that today the Jews, the Israelis, are called oppressors is that if they're among the oppressed, that's a very hard position to accept. The Jews have been oppressed for centuries. The Romans, the early Christians, the Europeans, the pogroms, Hitler, you name it. They couldn't go into banking, although all the conspiracy nuts think that the Jews control banking. For a long time, they couldn't go into a bank. They couldn't get into banking. They established their own industries. They established really large parts of the entertainment industry, of the media. And they built their own country clubs. And they sent their kids to school. And so despite the terrible discrimination, they got through. And that includes here in the United States. You know, the Ku Klux Klan was against blacks, against Jews, against gays, you name it. A ship came with Jewish refugees from Europe in the early 40s during the war. And the Roosevelt administration, a liberal administration, turned the ship away, made it go back. And so, when I grew up, everything was dirty Jew. It was like a mindless chant. It was like saying, oh shit, dirty Jew. But the problem is, today, for people who are oppressed in their minds, or they're told they're oppressed, or their perceptions they're oppressed, is if the Jews are accepted as colleagues in oppression, and they got out of it, why can't others? So the Jews have to be labeled as oppressors. That's the only way to justify the fact that they got through it and others did not. Now, this is not just my opinion. Sociologists, psychologists, and anthropologists and others have written about the same things. I don't know that it's the major or majority opinion, but I do know a lot of people feel this way. I'm not claiming it's my original thinking, but it is my thinking, and these are my words. Why else would anti-Semitism last this long? What is there about a people that makes people hate them? Well, the color of their skin, that's for sure. Their religion, that's another. But maybe it's also their success.